Morning, everyone. Hope you're enjoying this inspiring event as much as I do. I am João Pimenta, and I'm here on behalf of RUMOS, the leading training group in Portugal and the unique partner for the full spectrum of Microsoft's product offer. This presentation is intended to give you a perspective of the tools that are available today to improve your productivity. We're living a privileged time where much more is coming soon. So let's go through the session's agenda. I'll start by showing one of the key obstacles for a successful AI strategy implementation. Then I'll jump directly into practice to show a tool to improve data quality, which is a lever of AI. The third chapter is about how easy to build apps with Microsoft tools, followed by a demo of how you can quickly build a chatbot. The next chapter is about personal productivity, example in Microsoft 365 Copilot. I'll conclude my presentation by emphasizing that RUMOS is the right partner in your AI adoption journey. So everyone speaks about the need for defining an AI strategy. A strategy has many components, and in the AI context is a higher challenge as technology is evolving at a speed never seen before. Governments are getting worried about its impact, and one step is clear: training. RUMOS may help you define an AI strategy and how to organize a training plan that keeps the pace and the organization's knowledge is continuously updated. So this slide shows how RUMOS connects the dots with 4 pillars. The first one, governance, is we show how adoption of AI requires clear governance, ethics, and compliance policies, accompanied by continuous training so that teams remain up to date and aligned with best practices. The second pillar is the integrated skills. It all starts with skills across all departments in the company. So it's not enough to form teams in isolation. You need to integrate skills in IT, like data, cloud, cybersecurity, and application development. Now, quick application development. So RUMOS offers training paths that cross these disciplines coherently. The third pillar, the practical execution, it moves from theory to action into practical projects, then in the classroom, hands-on labs, and technical support in the implementation of AI solutions in the client's existing infrastructures. The final, but not least, pillar is operationalization. It's not enough to create a prototype. You need to ensure that AI models are put into production in a scalable, monitored, and sustainable way over time. So these are the demos that I will present today of Microsoft's products. So data cleaning and preparation in Azure Data Science, creation of low-code applications with Power Platform, building an intelligent system agent with Microsoft Copilot Studio, and how to achieve higher productivity with Microsoft 365 Copilot. This is an end-to-end journey that teaches how to connect all the pieces to solve real business problems. So everyone knows, so this is the big picture and how to achieve the strategic alignment that I spoke just a few slides back. We need to understand the architecture before building. It's very important to have an integrated architecture versus isolated tools, and there are many today from different suppliers. Microsoft offers a comprehensive set of tools that work together and may achieve the productivity intended for the company. So this infrastructure in Azure, you can find data, models, ways of cleaning data, computing resources very well, very easy to set, and cognitive services. The Power Platform helps us to automate processes and implement low-code applications. Copilot Studio works like an orchestration layer, so intelligent agents may have personalized conversations in natural language with the users, and the productivity based on Microsoft 365 integrates all AI in a workflow that is very easy to use and is already known by most of the users. So while strategy defines a destination, it is absolutely necessary to have a deep technology expertise to build the path. RUMOS trains professionals in each layer of this diagram. So let's start here by data, that everyone knows that cleaned and organized data is critical for AI, but only if you succeed to have it, as it happened in the implementation of ERPs and business intelligence. Most AI projects drastically underestimated the time and effort dedicated to data preparation, and some of them even jump over this step with catastrophic consequences. So this phase is not glamorous, but is absolutely critical. I'll start by showing an example from a data set run on data set that was collected from a plant. So here you can see a file of that data set that was collected, and we have the machines and we have sensors. We can see here that there are values that are out of range, values that are missing due to sensor defects, and also data that was manually inputted in the wrong position, like letters where it was expected to have a value. So we will see next how Microsoft tools can help automatically clean and prepare the information for the workflow of AI tools. So Azure Machine Learning Studio is the tool that I'm covering now, and has a complete data engineering cycle. It can automatically identify anomalies, as I've shown in the file, and also missing values. It's able to clean corrupted, out-of-range records, and most important of all, automatically normalize variables. That is a necessary step for artificial intelligence to have all variables with equal weight when processing in machine learning models. So the preparation of the final data set for training and inference can be done automatically with Microsoft machine learning tools. Let's go through an example. Okay, so this is the Azure Machine Learning Studio. We will start by creating a workspace. For demo purposes, I'm going only to fill some fields. You can select the region where we are processing our data. And I will, as this takes a few minutes, I'll start with a demo that I've already prepared. And I'll start by setting the computing power that is needed for our example. Nowadays, to implement a server is as easy as this. So we can select a server from a set of options, either with CPUs or even more sophisticated GPUs. I'll select a standard one because our example here is a very simple one. And then the setting up of the service is as simple as clicking this review and create. So I'll jump this again. It takes a few minutes to process, only a few minutes, but now you can check that it's running. The cost is very cheap, only 20 cents per hour when it's operating. And then I'll input the data that was collected from the machines. So data can come from very different sources, databases, files, SharePoint, etc. And inputting the data into a machine learning model is very simple also. We can select from, as I said, from different sources, but for this example, I'll start from a local file, the file that I've shown previously. The data is input into a reserved space. I will upload the file from my local computer. And okay, and just click next and the file is uploaded. So again, the damage is already prepared. We can explore data in the file and we can see that we can check if the records were well updated, uploaded, and we can see here also the pattern where records have those values that are out of range and with the different values than expected. It takes a few seconds to upload. I'll say that I want to see with column headers to ease my reading of the records. And we can see that in machine 01, we have identified the previous record. You can see here that the value 999 is out of range. We can see also that the record that the null value was not loaded, and we can see also that there is a wrong input. So we must remember that the idea here, the objective is to implement an automated process directly from the machines. So now here is a human checking things, but in reality, everything will be imported automatically into the machine learning model. Once uploaded, we will just add some instructions. Very simple to add. Again, we check if the information is correctly uploaded, and we will add some instructions to process automatically the data. Very simple lines of code that can be also generated by artificial intelligence that will clean data as expected. So it will fill the void values, it will correct out of range data by making mathematical operations, can be interpolation, extrapolation, and others as we choose, and substitute also the characters that were in the wrong place. So the machine ran as fast as you have seen, and data is normalized. So now every variable has equal weight for the artificial intelligence machine to process in a downstream step. So we can see that the records that were previously wrong are now fixed. And this will be running in the background with no human intervention. As simple as that. So now that we have the process flowing, we will need to have access to that data. That is to say, democratize the access to data to users that may not be technical experts, but need to access that data. With the power of chatbots, any person, any employee, regardless of their technical level can access that information. So with Microsoft Copilot Studio, another module, we can create a maintenance agent where people can navigate the data speaking with the machine in natural language as if he or she was speaking with another human. So these chatbots can be easily implemented in Microsoft, as we'll see next. And there's a very low margin of error called hallucination, because this technology from Microsoft helps to focus the agent in the information that we want and not to use information that is outside of scope. That is called grounding the agent, and we'll see how we can do it. And then we can ask simple questions like which machine was the highest, had the highest vibration, and the agent will only respond based on the information that was provided, and again, automatically loaded and cleaned in the workstream that we implemented. So let's see here an example to see how easy it is to implement a chatbot with Microsoft tools. The wrong video. Okay, so this is Copilot Studio, where we can do many things like build workflows that connect machines and persons, but we will see here how to implement a chatbot, how easy to implement a chatbot. Of course, it will be then integrated in a more complex, it may be integrated in a more complex workflow in the company, but here we will see only how easy it is to implement an agent. So we have different agents that we can implement over LLMs engines. So we may choose a name for our agent. We can add an icon. It takes just a few seconds to update. And we focus the agent in the information that we want. We can upload it from very diverse sources. Here, for the sake of easy of demonstration, I will upload the information from the file that we have cleaned with machine learning in the machine learning model, and it uploads that information. It will be the source of knowledge for the LLM, so the large language model that we're implementing. So we can see here that is updating the information, is loading, is transforming information for its own purposes. It takes a few minutes, it's not very long, but it's important to say that we need to reduce hallucination, saying explicitly that that's the focus of the information that he needs to search for. Okay, so I have already built an agent for demonstration. I called it maintenance bot. Be faster, it looks very fast. So here is the knowledge base already implemented with a file that was automatically cleaned and transformed. And now the users, we will use here the test platform. The users can query the data as easily as this. Which machines are in a critical state? And it goes, we can see as we are in the test platform, which sources were consulted, and he returns the information. So compressor, the machine 001, as we saw when I was showing the records of the Excel file, had a critical state, which alerts were generated, high vibration, and a suggestion to check the bearings, etc. So this, to build an agent is as fast and easy as I've just shown here. It can then be integrated in more complex workflows in the company, but a non-technical person can build a personal agent for itself. So once we have this, this information processed, cleaned, available for the persons that we indicate in the organization with access controls, we now may use Office 365 tools to process even deeper that information. So with Microsoft Office 365 with Copilot and add-on, we can, in our daily workflows, amplify our cognitive capacities. So we can generate automatically the reports that previously we took many hours, if not days, to produce, and we can have automatically generated reports and graphs and make a better use of our time by focusing on the analysis of those graphs instead of spending time building those graphs. I'll show here how easy it is to implement that analysis. So here you have again the report that we have been talking about, cleaned automatically by the machine learning system. And I will use Copilot. So with this prompt, that could be more sophisticated to create a professional maintenance incident dashboard with graphs and based on the IoT sensor data. It's very important to design a very good prompt. For the sake of demonstration, I only put the most important instructions, but if we put a more rich prompt, we will have even richer results. So I'm giving him instructions about the output, which is a good procedure when asking an LLM to produce a result, is to control the results that we need. So I'm saying to him to avoid overlapping graphs and tables because they are still not perfect, and set their size for easy readability. So he starts processing and shows the several steps that takes to implement the dashboard that I asked for. So it goes through a series of steps, and we can follow the several steps. So while he's producing charts and KPIs, I could have said I want this KPI or the other KPIs that my company uses. For this is a very generic example, and he will generate a second sheet on the file with the output. So if we work carefully on the prompt, we can have a result as this one. Okay, so here we have the data, and now Microsoft is capable, this is a new functionality, to add a new sheet to the same file without generating a new file, which was a functionality that was not available a few weeks ago. So we can see here that he processed the data, analyzed, and produced the tables about that enables us to go through and extract knowledge from the file. So here we have a summary of the warnings, how they are distributed, and incidents classified either by machine. We only have data from one day, so this graph is simpler than It could be if we had data from several days, but we can see here also that he automatically found out that there are several technicians involved and gives us a perspective of their work. So now we can see how Microsoft 365 integrates in the whole workflow and where we can reach, how we can amplify our analysis capacities. So this closes the decision cycle of the workflow that I have prepared. It includes executive reporting. We could also add Microsoft Word to generate reports and even automatically generate plans on how to address the several issues. And there's a need for greater literacy in AI. And RUMOS here can help users to achieve to maximize their productivity and the maximum return of investment from the licensing that is available in Microsoft licensing. So as a conclusion, we can see here that we only with Microsoft tools, so keeping in the Microsoft ecosystem, we don't need to have a non-homogeneous set of tools. We can have all inside Microsoft ecosystem. We can start by processing data, cleaning it, preparing it automatically. Then we can use Power Platform to automate workflows that are today manually driven between departments, between persons from the same department. We can build very fast applications. They can be used to better communicate with IT, saying, I want an application that looks like something like this. That would be a great help for them. And also use Copilot Studio to process our data and speak directly with our data. We can have very complex data and extract insights with chatbots that we interface with natural language. It's much better than dealing with Excel files and making formulas, etc. So with Microsoft 365 Copilot layer added to this infrastructure, you have seen that we can boost productivity and generate reports much faster and with more complex insights than never before. All of this helps us drive business value, make better decisions, faster decisions, and improve the return of investment. So the true differentiation here, with the help of RUMOS, is not to master an isolated tool, even being lost in as many tools as are today in the market, but RUMOS helps us find the right tools inside Microsoft ecosystem and teach how to orchestrate the entire ecosystem to produce these end-to-end solutions. And these end-to-end solutions generate a very clear business impact. So this is a summary, a quick wrap-up of the set of tools that I've shown. But there are lots more to explore that could not fill in the time that I had for this presentation. So Azure and Data Science offer a layer that is not very well known for companies. We have seen that we can improve the data quality in companies. That can be used not only in artificial intelligence, but also in business intelligence, in reporting that comes from ERPs and many others. So the Power Platform, now the second tool here, helps improve the communication between departments, either with apps, either with Power BI, workflows that are automatically run at specific times. And over that, by exploring Microsoft Studio and Microsoft 365 integrated, and Microsoft Copilot is evolving at an incredible pace. So it's really a Copilot that helps every manager in the organization to produce much better results, either in emails, searching for emails, searching for files, collecting information from different sources at the same time. So we can make a prompt that collects in just one prompt, collects information from email, from files in SharePoint, in our computer, and other sources, and make a summary that gives us an overall perspective on a specific sector. Example. This morning, while preparing for this session, I was not sure where my credentials were and some other information. So I asked Copilot in Outlook to make an executive report of what I needed to be prepared for this session. And he collected information from the emails that I received with very specific instructions from the organization team, and also information that I have been preparing. And he told me that I had the files prepared here and there. So, in summary, we may have a strategy that defines where a company is heading on, but now that strategy needs a complement with a strategy for AI adoption. For that strategy, one of the key components of that strategy is training, specifically in technical competence, either from IT members or the regular use. And RUMOS helps build the path to achieve an homogeneous knowledge of AI in the organization, not just having people with different competencies in different tools that then after all, they do not articulate itself. They may be very good in very specific areas, but then the great value that Microsoft brings, it's from its integrated ecosystem where information flow from the different tools into the user's hands. So, wrapping everything, RUMOS is positioning itself as the unique partner in Portugal for the entire spectrum of Microsoft's ecosystem. So it has programs that run from deep technical skills, and that is a competence earned for many, many years, to end user proficiency in using Microsoft Copilot and 365 tools. I dare to say that there is no other organization in Portugal with this coverage. And the experience built over and credibility built over the years. And as it is said, strategy defines the destination, but technical competence builds the path and makes a competitive advantage in the company. So thank you for listening, and RUMOS hopes to hear from you soon. Enjoy the rest of the event.